mother...
The Jell-O Program, starring Jack Benny with Mary Livingston and Phil Harris and his orchestra.
Thank you. This is Groucho Marx. Well, here I am, stepping in over my head again.
With Fibber McGee and Molly.
Folks, this is just as new to me as it is to you.
Hello?
Hello, Mr. Benny. This is Rochester.
The Great Gildersleeve.
Well, what an original greeting.
Hello and welcome to another week of comedy, funny, haha, on Dwayne Old Time Radio. One thing, please subscribe to my channel. If you enjoy what I'm doing, subscribing is 100% free. Also, one more thing, if you have a few seconds or 1 minute, please leave a review on your preferred podcast service, especially if you're on Apple, Spotify, or really just your preferred podcast service. Thank you and hope you enjoy. In the month, Jack Benny, Catcher of Beverly Hills, November 10th, 1940, and then Jack, the head of Paramount, November 17th, 1940.
The Jell-O Program, starring Jack Benny with Mary Livingston, Phil Harris, Dennis Day, and yours truly, Don Wilson. The orchestra opens...
Wait a minute, Don. Hold it. We can't start the show yet.
What's the matter?
Well, Jack isn't here.
Well, we're on the air. Where is he?
I saw him a little while
Search
ago.
me, Don. I haven't seen him.
Well, he should be here. Look what time it is.
Yeah.
I saw him a little while
Do you
ago.
think I ought to go out and look for him, Don? Maybe he's in the drugstore.
Oh, he left there an hour ago. Wonder if anything could have happened.
Gee, I don't know.
I saw him a little while ago.
Hey, maybe he's in the dressing room. You know, he said he was going to take a nap.
Oh, that's right. Go see if he's there, will you, Phil?
Okay.
I saw him a little while
Here
ago.
comes Mary. Maybe she knows. Hello, Mary.
Hi, fellas.
Say, Mary, have you seen Jack?
Yes, he's out in the hall talking to Mark Sandridge on the telephone.
That's what I've been telling you.
Oh, hello, Dennis.
Hello, fellas.
You know, Don, if Jack doesn't stop complaining, Mr. Sanders will never direct another picture for him.
Well, that's just silly. Jack shouldn't worry about whose name's going to be first on the screen.
Sure, what's the difference if it's Jack Benny and Fred Allen or Fred Allen and Jack Benny?
Well, if you ask me, it's...
That's not what they're arguing about, Phil. Jack wants the premiere of the picture to be held in Waukegan.
Well, if you ask me...
Waukegan? Another premiere in his hometown, huh?
That's what he wants.
Well, if you ask me, it's a swell idea. Bingo.
Hey, Dennis, stop hogging the conversation, will you, kid?
I'm sorry.
Well, that's okay. Say, Mary, how's Jackson making out?
I don't know. I better go out in the hall and bring him in here.
Yeah, tell him we're on the air.
Okay.
Yes, but... Sure, but... Certainly, but... Absolutely, but...
But Betty talks again.
Mary, get out of here, will you?
We're waiting for you. Hurry up.
Be there in a minute. Now, look, Mr. Sandridge. I don't care what Allen says. I want the premiere of Love Thy Neighbor held in Waukegan, Illinois. Yes, but... Now, wait a minute. Who's the star of that picture? Fred Allen or... Let me finish, will you? Well, look at it this way, Mr. Sandridge. You've already had a sneak preview, haven't you? Then let me ask you something. Who gets the biggest laughs in the picture? Leave him out of it. I'm talking about Allen and me. Oh. Well, I don't want to use pressure, Mr. Sandridge, but if you don't see things my way, I may get a new director for my next picture. What? Well, now hold on, Mr. Sandridge. Gee whiz, can't you take a joke?
Wipe your forehead, Jack.
Give me your handkerchief. Now, look, Mr. Sandridge, I've got a program to do, and I can't argue now. But that premiere is going to be held in Waukegan, or I'll take it up with Mr. LeBaron. Goodbye. Guess that'll hold him for a while.
Who's Mr. LeBaron?
He's in charge of production at Paramount, and he's a very good friend of mine. Come on. Wait a minute. Hello? What? Get the nickel from him. He called me. Come on, Mary, let's go.
Oh, don't get so upset about everything.
I'm not upset. Who's upset?
Hello, Mr. Benny.
Hello.
How's your program today?
How do I know? Tune in and find out. program. We're not even on the air yet. Got a cigar on you, Mary?
No, the doctor made me cut him out.
All right. A cigarette. You know what I meant. Hello, Don. Sorry I'm late. Go ahead. Start the program.
Okay, get ready, Phil.
So mixed up, I don't know where I am.
I know, but nobody will listen to me.
All right, boys. Get going.
J-E-L-L-O. The Jell-O program starring Jack Benny with Mary Livingston, Phil Harris, Dennis Day, and yours truly, Don Wilson. The orchestra opens the program with I Just Want to Play With You. I was just thinking the other day, ladies and gentlemen, how easy it is to explain why millions of people like Jell-O. They like it simply because it tastes good. That's the whole story. And it tastes good because Jell-O has extra rich flavor. Flavor which is only rivaled by the juicy, ripe fruit itself. Yes, sir. For dessert at any time, there's nothing more delectable, nothing more inviting than bright, glistening Jell-O, smartly molded into an attractive shape and topped off, if you wish, with fruit or whipped cream. So try some Jell-O real soon in any one of Jell-O's 6 delicious flavors. Strawberry, raspberry, cherry, orange, lemon, or lime. You'll especially enjoy strawberry and raspberry Jell-O because each of these grand Jell-O desserts has a new, improved flavor obtained by using a natural flavor base artificially enhanced. And that's why they have such a rich, delightful goodness. Get Jell-O tomorrow, and at the same time, order several packages of those Jell-O puddings. Jell-O puddings are made by the makers of Jell-O, so you know they're good. Played by the orchestra. Ladies and gentlemen, now that the election is over and the ballots have been counted, tonight I take great pleasure in presenting to you the new dog catcher of Beverly Hills, California, Jack Benny.
Thank you. Hello again. This is Jack Benny talking. And first of all, I want to thank my many friends who voted for me. And I also want to compliment my worthy opponent, Mr. Rufus Twelvetrees, although his name didn't help him at all. Thanks, folks. Thanks a lot.
I was wondering, Jack, how did you happen to run for dog catcher anyway? Isn't it rather a menial position?
Well, I didn't really want to, Don. I was drafted, you see, but the committee, the committee came to me and said I was the ideal candidate for the job.
Say, Don, I like the slogan the committee gave Jack. That really put him over.
What was it, Mary?
Vote for Benny. His nose is always cold.
That wasn't it at all. My slogan was, if you love your chow or poodle, vote for Jack, the Yankee Doodle. Of course, I got the Pomeranian vote, too.
Well, then you should be very happy about your new office, Jack.
Oh, I would be, Don, but right now I'm having a lot of trouble with Paramount again.
Oh, so Mary was telling us. It's about that picture you made with Fred Allen, isn't it?
Yes, I told Mark Sandridge on the phone that regardless of what that Texaco termite wanted, the premiere of my picture better be held in Waukegan or I take the matter up with Mr. LeBaron. Imagine Allen wanting to open my picture in his hometown.
Fred comes from Massachusetts, doesn't he, Jack?
Yes, Don. He was born under the Plymouth Rock. And when the Pilgrims landed, it didn't help his face any. Not a bit.
Say, Jackson, did you hear Alan's program last Wednesday?
I had to, Phil. I was over to some friend's house, and they were trying to break the lease. Their furniture was on the sidewalk before Alan got a laugh. What a program. And the way he's wasting that Kenny Baker.
I wish you'd waste me like that.
Dennis. Now, let me tell you another thing, fellas. I don't like to say this, but Alan's humor is nothing short of puerile and banal.
There he goes again with puerile and banal.
Say, Jackson, I meant to straighten you out on that. You've been pronouncing them words all wrong.
What do you mean?
Well, I found out in night school that the correct pronunciation is puerile and banal.
Oh, it is?
That's what the hostess says.
The hostess?
You know, the dame at the head of the class.
That's the teacher. The hostess. Phil, if you're paying tuition at that night school, you ought to get your diploma and your money back at the same time.
I'm doing all right. You know, fellas, I took up hygiene last week.
Hygiene?
Yeah, you know, don't wait till Saturday night. If you want a bath, take it any time.
I see. Well, I don't want to run you down, Phil, but I bet you can't even spell hygiene.
Ah, yes, I can.
Well, go ahead.
I can spell it.
Well, what's stopping you?
He left his blocks home.
That's a good one, Mary.
All right, you wise guys, I'll show you I can spell hygiene. Give me a chord, Frankie.
A chord?
Hygiene, hygiene. How about that? A hand for that, folks, huh?
Well, I got to give you credit, Phil. That's a tough word, and you spelled it. No kidding. That was some feat.
F-E-E-T, feet.
Oh, fine. I knew it was too good to last. Phil, when I said that was some feat, I meant F-E-A-T.
Oh.
F-E-E-T is feet like I've got.
Nobody's got feet like you've got.
Well, Miss Livingston, that did it. There goes your Christmas present. Right out the window.
You're doing your Christmas fighting early this year, ain't you, kid?
Yes. Keep it up. Keep it up, Mary. Now you won't get anything next year either.
I'm off the list till 1960.
61. I'm not forgetting that cute little trick you pulled with your baton this afternoon. Say, Dennis.
Merry Christmas, Mr. Benny.
Dennis, don't you think it's about time... Answer the phone, Mary.
Okay.
Dennis, don't you think it's about time...
Hello? Yes? Put him on, please. It's for you, Jack. Mr. LeBaron at Paramount.
Holy smoke. Mark Sandridge must have got in touch with him.
You want to talk to him?
Certainly, but make off you're my secretary. A little front won't hurt any.
Okay. Hello? Yes? Yes?
Yeah.
This is Mr. Benny's secretary. Well, he's frightfully busy right now. He's broadcasting.
Mary, don't overdo it.
You want me to spell hygiene for him?
Get away from there.
Very well, Mr. LeBaron. I'll ask him.
Give me that phone. Hello, Mr. LeBaron. Yes? Yes, I did tell Mark Sandridge that I want the premiere held in Waukegan. I know, Mr. LeBaron. I know you're the production head, but I'm entitled to first consideration. If there's any B.O. in that picture, it's me. I mean box office. Yes, I understand that. Sure, but...
What flavor, please?
Quiet. Now, look, Mr. LeBaron, let me review this situation.
You better sing, Dennis. It looks like a long winter.
Okay.
Now, Mr. LeBaron, Alan wants a premiere in his hometown, and I want it in mine. Now, the way I look at it, I've been under contract to Paramount for over 5 years. And I...
found my thrill on Blueberry Hill, when I found you. The moon stood still on Blueberry Hill and lingered until my dreams came true. Do you recall a year ago tonight? We stood and watched the golden sun descending. When love had just begun, why did there have to be an ending? Do you recall a year ago tonight? The wind in the willow played love's sweet melody, but all of the vows we made were never to be. Though we're apart
But, Mr. LeBaron, we've got to have the premiere in my hometown. I've already told Bidey Talcott. Who is he? Only the mayor of Waukegan. Where have you been?
Take it easy, Jack.
Well, now, look, Mr. LeBaron, we're not getting anywhere, so I'll take the matter up with Mr. Freeman. Goodbye. More trouble over nothing at all.
So, Jack, who's Mr. Freeman?
Frank Freeman, he's the big shot at Paramount, and he's a very fine Southern gentleman.
Oh, he comes from the South, huh?
Yes, his home is in Georgia.
Why don't you let me talk to him, Jackson? We speak the same language.
Phil, Mr. Freeman is a Southerner, not a hillbilly. So, I'll do the talking.
Oh, I suppose I'm a hillbilly.
Well, Phil, all I know is when you came to work for me 5 years ago, I brought you in a shoe store to buy you a pair of shoes, and it took 3 men to hold you down. Remember?
I go in alone now.
That's good. And while we're on the subject of your attire, Phil, that sport coat you're wearing is a little snug around the knees. You see, folks, I'm not kidding about that. And now, ladies and gentlemen, getting back to our program, for our feature attraction of the evening. Come in.
Mr. Benny?
Yes?
Is it true that you were just elected dog catcher of Beverly Hills?
Yes.
Well, you'll never catch me. Arf, arf.
There's a Mexican hairless if I ever saw it. And now, ladies and gentlemen, for our feature attraction of the evening, the Benny Anything from Shakespeare to Gin Rummy Players will present an original mystery melodrama entitled Murder at the Soda Fountain or Hold That Malted. Now, I will play the part of a young soda jerk, Tutti Frutti Benny. And, Mary, you're the cashier who is madly in love with me.
Hooray.
Now, Dennis, you're a college student who is always hanging around the drugstore wisecracking.
Oh, boy, at last some dialogue.
No, Dennis, no. You see, as our play opens, you enter the drugstore, a shot is heard, and you fall to the floor. Dead.
Well, can't I wisecrack on the way down?
No. Now, Don, you're going to be a box of Jell-O, so you'll have to crawl up on the shelf.
What flavor am I?
What's the difference? You're delicious. Now, Phil...
But, Jack, I ought to be some flavor.
All right, Don, pinch your cheeks and make off like strawberry. Now, Phil, in view of your knowledge of hygiene, you're going to be the dishwasher. So, put on your apron.
Why can't I be a soda jerk?
Read that right! There was no comma there. Burns me up. Now, Phil, you're going to be a dishwasher and like it. Anyway, folks, this play will go on immediately after... Oh, darn it. Answer it, Mary.
Okay.
This will go on immediately.
Hello? Yes? Put him on. It's Mr. Frank Freeman, Jack.
Oh, well, tell him you're my secretary. You know, like before.
Okay. Hello? Hello, Mr. Freeman. Hi, y'all.
Mary.
Well, Mr. Benny's awful busy right now. Can I take the message, honey lamb?
Mary, give me that phone. Fine way to talk to the head of the Paramount. Hello, Mr. Freeman. This is Jack Benny. Yes? Yes? Sure enough? Well, now, Mr. Freeman, I'll leave it to you. Where do you think the premiere of Love Thy Neighbor should be held? Greenville, Georgia? Who ever heard of that bird? Oh, that's your hometown. Oh, sure. Sure, Greenville. Yes, I remember. I used to play there in vaudeville. Yes, sir, Greenville.
Boy, are you an apple polisher.
Well, look, Mr. Polisher. Mr. Freeman. Darn you, Mary. Look, this whole thing is getting so complicated. Suppose I come to the studio and we'll talk it over. Yes, I can be there in a few minutes.
Jack, we got a play to do.
Who cares? I'll be right over, Mr. Freeman. Goodbye. Come on, Mary. I want you to go along with me to Paramount. Rochester got the car outside.
But, Jack, what about the murder mystery?
We can do that next week.
But you announced it already.
All right. Dennis walks in the drugstore. Bang, bang. He falls to the floor. Mary screams. Ah! Who did it? Was it me? No. Was it Mary? No. Was it Don? No. Phil gets hysterical. I did it. Police come. Yeah! There's your play. Come on, Mary. Let's go. Hurry, Rochester. Get the car started.
Just as soon as I make my point, boss.
Put those dice down. Hurry, Mary.
Doggone, it was just beginning to thaw out.
Hurry up, Rochester. I told you I had a very important engagement with Mr. Freeman. Now step on it.
I'm giving it so much gas now, the carburetor's thinking of buying a home in the valley.
Just keep that throttle wide open, that's all.
Say, Jack, we're going the wrong way to Paramount, aren't we?
Let's see. Oh, yes. Rochester, what's the matter with you? You were supposed to turn to your right here on Gower Street.
I turned the steering wheel. Something ought to happen any minute now.
What?
Well, we made it.
On two wheels yet. Rochester, you took that corner much too sharp.
Boss, we got to take them any way we can get them.
Well, you threw me all over the back seat. Are you all right, Mary?
Yeah. Say, Jack,
What?
you sure were neutral in the election, weren't you?
What do you mean?
Look at those 3 stickers on your windshield.
Never mind.
Root for Roosevelt, win with Wilkie, and bark with Benny.
What was that first one you
I
started?
don't know.
Root for vaudeville? Rochester, the election is over, so you can scrape those stickers off the glass. And by the way, I'm making you a deputy dog catcher.
Why don't you make me a dog? I work like one.
Too bad about you. Gee, Mary, I hope Mr. Freeman waits for me. I want to get to that premiere matter settled.
I brought your samples along, Jack.
What samples?
The Christmas cards. You might as well kill 2 birds with 1 stone.
Oh, I won't have time for that. Say, Mary, I ought to stop at a drive-in stand and get Mr. Freeman an order of fried chicken.
Fried chicken? What for?
Well, he's from the South, isn't he? I can tell him I cooked it myself. Yeah, I got to do something to get in good with Paramount.
Why don't you tear up your contract?
Mary. You just don't realize how important it is. Well, I'll be darned. Oh, Rochester.
Yes, boss.
You went through a red light.
Let's keep it a secret.
Watch your driving. Want me to get a ticket?
You won't get a ticket, boss. You're a dog catcher. You can go through a red light.
Not unless I'm after a dog. And that reminds me, now that I'm a public official, I better get a siren in my car.
Oh, what?
A siren.
There's one waiting on the corner.
I don't mean that kind. Talking about a horn. Someone wants to pass us. Pull over, Rochester.
Okay.
It's a sightseeing bus, Jack.
Oh, yes.
On your left, ladies and gentlemen, is the RKO studio. And oh, look, on your right is Jack Benny's Maxwell.
Well,
Would you mind sticking your head out, Jack?
no. Get out of the way, Mary. Howdy, folks. Thank you, thank you. Say, you know, Mary, that was kind of a thrill. People from all over the country on that bus.
Too bad you didn't pass out some autographed pictures.
Yeah, darn it, I should have had them with me. See, I feel awful about that.
Here's a gun. Blow your brains out.
Now, Mary, remember what I told you a few minutes ago. You keep making those cracks, and that Christmas present will really be off. And if you remember, Miss Livingston, I hand out some pretty nice gifts.
Uh-huh.
Well, I do.
Uh-huh.
What are you a-hahing about, Rochester? Last Christmas, I gave you a beautiful leather wallet to keep your money in.
Yeah, I wish you'd give me another one just like it.
What do you want 2 wallets for?
I can put heels on them and use them for shoes.
Oh, you're always complaining about being broke. Why don't you save your money? Why don't you put it in real estate like I do?
I haven't got a shovel.
Now cut that out. Rochester, if you're insinuating that I buried... Rochester, pull over at the curb. There's a dog without a license. Quick, Mary, hand me that net and my cat.
Oh, Jack, don't bother about this dog. It's out of your territory.
That's right. Well, they can't say I wasn't on the job, though. Hey, Rochester, here's Paramount Studio. Pull up in front of the main entrance and wait for me.
Okay.
Wait here, Rochester. Come on, Mary. Bring the fried chicken for Mr. Freeman.
You didn't buy it.
Oh, yeah. I'll tell him I gave it to a poor old lady.
Do you think Mr. Freeman will be waiting, Jack?
Sure, I told him I was coming over as soon as I could possibly find... Whose car is that?
I don't know.
Well, come on.
Hey, wait a minute. Isn't that Mr. Freeman in the back seat?
Where? Yeah, that's him. Hey, Mr. Freeman! Start the car, Rochester. Catch that Cadillac. Catch that Cadillac.
Oh, come now.
Come on. Come on, try. Step on. Oh, Mr. Freeman! Mr. Freeman, honk the horn, Rochester. Oh, Mr. Freeman!
He must have heard you, Jack. His car's stopping.
Oh, yes.
Now, if we can stop, we're all set.
Rochester, the brakes! Oh, my goodness, we hit Mr. Freeman's car.
Yep, there goes the premier.
Darn you, Rochester.
Here he comes, Jack. He looks mad.
Yeah. Well, I'll straighten it out. Now, look, Mr. Freeman, here's exactly what happened. You see, we were parked right in front of the studio, and your bumper caught into the front of my car. Well, I saw you dragging us along, so I yelled at you, you know, and the first thing I knew was way.
When it comes to cheering for football teams these days, you'll find some folks rooting for the colors of orange and black, while others will be cheering for red and white, blue and yellow, or maybe red and green. But when it comes to desserts, everybody will cheer for crimson and gold, the gay, glowing colors of Jell-O's delicious new treat, cherry cubes with pineapple. It's a mighty tasty dessert and a mighty easy one to make, too. Simply prepare 1 package of cherry Jell-O, as usual, and turn it into a loaf pan and chill until firm. Then cut into cubes and pile in sherbet glasses with 3 slices of canned pineapple diced. You just couldn't ask for a more tempting or more satisfying dessert. So how about treating the family to something extra special? Tomorrow night for dinner, give them this grand combination of diced golden pineapple mingled with shimmering cubes of ruby red cherry Jell-O.
Good night, folks.
News for thrifty housewives. Log cabin syrup for less money. All 3 sizes now selling at lowest prices in history. Ask your grocer about his new low prices.
K-E-L-L-O. The Jell-O program starring Jack Benny with Mary Livingston, Phil Harris, Dennis Day, and yours truly, Don Wilson. The orchestra opens the program with You Walk By. Played by the orchestra. And now, ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to explain why Jack Benny is not here for his customary introduction. As you may remember, Jack has been having a lot of trouble lately with Paramount regarding the premiere of his picture that he recently made with Fred Allen.
Yeah, that's right, all right.
Last week, Jack spoke on the telephone to Mark Sandrich, his director, about this matter, but got absolutely no satisfaction.
Yeah, he spoke on the phone.
Then he got in touch with Mr. LeBaron, who is in charge of production at Paramount, and also Mr. Freeman, the head of the studio. But in neither instance was Jack successful in achieving his purpose.
Oh, it was awful.
Dennis, please. I'm trying to explain something.
Say, Don, I thought Jackson had that premiere all set for Waukegan. What's he beefing about?
Well, it's not settled yet, Phil. In fact, Jack is over at Paramount right now trying to sell Mr. Sandridge the idea. Mary is with him, and I doubt very much they'll be back.
Hello, Mr. Sandwich's office. Sorry, he's busy right now. Very well, I'll have him call you.
Now, look here, Miss Wellman. I've been waiting an hour and a half to see Mr. Sandridge. Will you please do something about it?
I've already told you, Mr. Benny, he'll see you just as soon as he's through with his conference.
Conference. Who's he in conference with?
You're at the keyhole. You tell me.
I'm not at the keyhole. I'm bending over to tie my shoe.
How can you tie a shoe with buttons on it?
All right, I'm buttoning my shoe. My goodness.
Oh, Jack, come over here and sit down, will you?
Listen, Mary, I don't like being kicked around like this. The premiere of my picture is going to be held in Waukegan, and I'm going to settle it right now.
But they already promised Fred Allen that they were going to have it in his hometown, Old Orchard, Maine.
Old Orchard, Maine? What a hick burg that is.
Oh, it's not such a small town.
It isn't. Why, in Old Orchard, you can buy a sack of potatoes, a plug of tobacco, a brassiere, and a dish of chow mein in the post office. Talk about a small town. I played there in vaudeville once, and there were only 8 people in the theater.
That happened to you in Pittsburgh, too.
It did not. And another thing, who'd go to Old Orchard, a summer resort, in the wintertime?
Well, you should have heard Allen Wednesday night. He said there's more life in Old Orchard closed up than there is in Waukegan wide open.
Oh, yeah? Well, he ought to be in Waukegan on a Saturday night. Talk about excitement. Well, you can hardly cross the street without getting run over.
Well, naturally, what does a stoplight mean to a horse?
I'm talking about automobiles. Let me tell you something, Mary. That town is pretty busy.
Yes? Yes, Mr. Sandridge. Yes, any bay is ill say ear hay.
And tell him I'm going to say ear hay, too. You don't have to pull that pig Latin on me, Miss Wellman. I've been around.
Oh, Jack, will you please sit down? You make me nervous.
All right. Pardon me, sir. Is this seat taken?
No, I'll move my derby.
Thank you. I noticed you sitting here. Are you waiting for Mr. Sandridge, too?
Yeah, I've been trying to see him for 3 days. I'm a writer.
A writer, eh?
Yeah, my name is Ernest Hemingway.
Ernest Hemingway? Gee, Mary, this gentleman here is Ernest Hemingway.
Not Ernest. Ernest.
Oh.
Ernest Hemingway.
Oh, Ernest Hemingway.
Yeah, the Hemming's in the middle.
Oh, I see. Then you're not the famous author of For Whom the Bell Tolls.
No, I ain't even got an alarm clock.
Oh, that's funny. Say, Mary, this guy looks like an ex-prize fighter or something, huh?
Yeah, I'd hate to lose a dime in his ear.
You said it.
Good afternoon, Miss Wellman. Is Mr. Sandridge in his office, please?
Go right in, Mr. Lopez. He's expecting you.
Gracias.
Hey, wait a minute, Miss Wellman. I was here before him. Who's this Lopez guy?
Mr. Sandridge is taking rumba lessons.
Rumba lessons? That's fine. He takes rumba lessons while I sit out here and wait. Who was Sandridge before he directed my pictures, anyway?
Who was he?
Yes.
Why, Mark Sanders directed some of the best pictures Fred Astaire and Ginger Rogers ever made.
Is that so?
Flying Down to Rio, Top Hat, Follow the Fleet, The Gay Divorce.
You call those pictures? Did he direct Mr. Deeds Goes to Town? Or Mr. Smith Goes to Washington?
No, but he's going to direct Mr. Benny Goes to Old Orchard.
No, he's not. Anyway, Mary, I should think you'd be on my side in getting this premiere settled.
Well, I don't want to go to Waukegan and get caught in all that traffic.
Oh, keep still, will you?
Hey, buddy, who's the dame?
Oh, pardon me. Mr. Hemingway, this is Miss Livingston.
Pleased to meet you.
The feeling is mutual.
Mary, please, he's an author. Incidentally, what have you written lately, Mr. Hemingway?
Did you see Gone with the Wind?
Yes.
Well, I wrote a sequel to it, Back with a Breeze.
Well, is it any good?
It didn't intrigue me.
Oh, well, you're just modest.
Hello, Miss W. Is MS tied up?
No, go right in, BG.
Okay.
Hey, who's BG?
He's with RKO.
Okay, MNX. What is this, anyway? For heaven's sake.
Oh, Jack, here's a movie magazine. Read it and relax.
Okay, give it to me. Fine mood to look at a movie magazine.
Hey, buddy, your face is familiar. Are you Jack Benny, the new dog catcher of Beverly Hills?
That's what this badge says. I just took office last week.
Oh, Jack, look at the magazine. Here's a picture of you dancing with Barbara Stanwyck at the Coconut Grove.
Oh, yeah. Gee, what a blank expression on my face. You'd think I'd be smiling or something.
That's a coconut. You're on the left.
Oh, yeah, yes, I am smiling. Well, I must put this in my scrapbook. Yes, sir. Oh, hello, Rochester.
Say, boss, I think I ought to move the car over to the parking lot across the street.
Leave it where it is. I'll be out in a little while.
Yeah, but I've been parking in a 10-minute zone for over 3 hours.
What's the difference? The policeman won't bother you.
He won't, eh?
No.
This ticket he gave me ain't for the ballet russe.
He gave you a ticket. Why didn't you talk him out of it? Why'd you tell him you just pulled in?
He'd never believe that, boss.
Why not?
I was asleep in the back seat.
You imagine that, Mary?
Well, it's not his fault.
It is true. Rochester can sleep on his time off.
Time off?
Yes.
Boss, you got me so used to working that last night when I was asleep, I picked all the cotton out of my quilt.
Never mind. Now go out and move that car across the street.
Okay. You want me to put it in the 25-cent lot or the 15-cent lot?
Well?
What am I talking about? Come on, boy.
Always thinks he's so smart. Wait till he pays for that quilt he pulled apart. Hey, Miss Wellman, what about Sandridge? Am I going to see him or not? I've been waiting here
Hello, Miss Wellman. Is your boss tied up?
Go right in, Mr. Welch. He's expecting you.
Thanks.
Hey, wait a minute. How does that guy get in so quick?
That's Mr. Welch. He's a salesman.
Well, it's a fine thing when a salesman can get in ahead of me. What's going on here, anyway?
Oh, keep your shirt on.
What did you say?
Do you want me to slug it for you, buddy?
No, but thanks just the same. Come on, Mary. We're going to Mr. LeBaron's office. I'll get this thing settled once and for all.
All right, all right.
I'll go with you, buddy.
So long, Miss Wellman. Thanks for everything. Leave me. I'll tell Mr. LeBaron plenty about how Sandridge gave me the runaround. Now, let's see. Where's his office?
Programs. You can't tell LeBaron from Sandwich without a program.
Oh, get away from me! Come on, Mary.
Yes, Mr. LeBaron. Yes, he's still here.
Gonna stay here, too.
I've told him that, Mr. LeBaron, but he says he wants to settle it right now. Very well.
Now, what did he say? Can I go in to see him?
Not yet, Mr. Benny. He's in the midst of a very important meeting.
Meeting conference. That's a lot of baloney. Now, see here, Mr. Nelson, I know what's going on. You can't pull the wool over my eyes.
I wouldn't pull anything over them. They're beautiful.
Now, wait a minute. Just because my eyes happen to be one of my best features, you don't have to give me that soft soap. I know what time it is.
Oh, Jack, sit down, will you?
All right.
Hey, look out for my derby.
Oh, pardon me, Mr. Hemingway. Do you have to see Mr. LeBaron, too?
Yeah, I want to show him a new story I wrote. It'll make a superb picture.
Oh, what's it about?
Well, it's about two people that are thrown together by fate. Then, through the intervention of circumstances, they're split up. But they still yearn for each other.
Yoin?
Yeah. And although there are moments of stark tragedy, there is a strong undercurrent of love and passion.
Well, what's the title of your story?
Desire like anything.
Well, it sounds like a great plot, huh?
You know, Jack, that would make a swell picture for you.
It would?
Yeah, I can see either you or Ronald Coleman in it.
Yeah, I guess Coleman could handle it, too. Although...
But he'd never be as convincing as you. Huh, Jack?
Well, I wouldn't say that, but he...
He hasn't got near the class you have.
Well, now that you mention it...
I ought to punch you right in those big blue eyes.
Oh, that'd be a shame.
You stay out of this. Now, Mr. Hemingway.
Yeah?
The premise of your story is very good, but I'd like to suggest a few changes. For instance, at the beginning, when the couple are together, they... Hey, what's that marching going on out there?
That's Cecil B. DeMille and his staff.
Oh. Well, they keep step perfectly. What was I going to say, Mr. Hemingway? A story like yours should have more...
Hello, Nelson. Is Mr. LeBaron tied up?
Oh, go right in, Mr. Wells. He's waiting for you.
Thanks.
Hey, wait a minute. How does that guy always get in ahead of me?
Well, that's Mr. Wells.
I know, but who's Wells?
He sells Christmas cards.
Well, that tops everything. So mad I can't see straight.
Oh, Jack, don't be so jealous. He probably buys cards from him every year.
I don't care about losing a sale. I want to get this premiere settled.
Well, settle it later.
I'll settle it right now. Now, look, Mr. Nelson. This is a very important matter to me. And if you think I'm going to sit around in one office and then another...
Salute, Jack. Here comes DeMille again.
Oh, nuts! Always marching. Suppose a guy with flat feet couldn't work for him. Well, as long as I have to sit here, we might as well eat lunch. Open the box, Mary.
Okay.
Had a hunch that I'd be tied up here all day.
What do you have, Jack?
Let's see. Mary, don't squeeze those sandwiches. The peanut butter is coming out.
Oh, you and your darn peanut butter. Don't you ever have meat in the house?
There's some pressed ham there. Look under the bagels. Now, give me one of those hard-boiled eggs.
Say, those sandwiches there look good.
Oh, pardon me. Would you care for something, Mr. Hemingway?
Call me Ernest. We're going to be together for a long time.
Yeah, it sure looks like it. Mary, see if there's any salt in there, will you?
Hey, Blue Eyes, will you please throw those eggshells in the basket?
All right. Wish he'd stop calling me Blue Eyes. Makes me so self-conscious, I'm sorry I've got him. I wish we had some coffee.
Hey, Ernest, do you want a hard-boiled egg?
Yeah, have one.
Thanks. Say, boss.
What is it, Rochester?
I'm still waiting for you.
Won't be long now. Did you put the car in the parking lot?
Yes, sir.
You'd have done it in the first place. You'd never have gotten a ticket.
By the way, boss, getting to that parking lot involves a left-hand turn in the middle of the block.
Well?
And you know that great big sign there that says no U-turn?
Uh-huh.
Well, I made a figure 8 and got 2 more tickets.
That's the last straw. Rochester, you go right back and tell that policeman who you are. Tell him you're working for Jack Benny, the movie star.
I told him that, and he threw his book at me.
Now, go sit in the car and wait for me.
Okay.
Guy gets into more trouble. Let's see, what else is there to eat here?
Hey, buddy, what you got for dessert?
Here it is right here. Jell-O.
Oh, yeah, that has them 6 delicious flavors. The strawberry with a raspberry, with a cherry, with an orange.
With the lemon, with the lime. That's it. It's very tempting.
You don't have to tell me. My mother makes it all the time.
Well, I'm glad to hear it. Say, Mary, this is sort of a picnic here, isn't it?
Oh, hello, Miss Martin.
Hello, Frank. Is Mr. LeBaron busy?
Yes, but I'll tell him you're here. Pause.
Say, Jack, get a load of that cute kid that just came in.
Huh? Hey, that's Mary Martin, the leading lady in my picture. Darn this 3-decker sandwich, I can't see a thing over it. Gosh, isn't she pretty?
Oh, every girl is pretty to you.
Now, Mary, don't be catty. Hello, Miss Martin.
Oh, hello, Jack, dear. How are you?
Gee, it's good to see you again, darling.
Dear darling, you actors make me sick.
Now, stop. Mary, this is Mary Martin.
Hello, honey.
How long have you been a blonde?
Mary!
Well, Mary Livingston and Mary Martin. We both have the same first name, haven't we?
What do you want me to do, change mine to Butch?
Mary, behave yourself.
My heart belongs to Daddy. I'm sick of that, too.
Now, cut that out. You know, Miss Martin, Mary is always jealous of my leading ladies, you know?
I can't understand why. Our relationship has been strictly business.
Well, it might have been with you, but some of those love scenes we did in the picture were a bit on the torrid side. I'll bet I bet you won't forget my kisses for a long time. Eh, Miss Martin?
Loud, weren't they?
Oh, now, Miss Martin.
All of a sudden, I like her.
Mary, please.
Hey, buddy, who's the dame?
Oh, pardon me, Oinus. Miss Martin, this is Mr. Hemingway.
I'm very glad to know you.
Oh, boy, if you only meant that.
Oinus! Say, Miss Martin, you know, I'm the new dog catcher in Beverly Hills. I was elected last week.
Well, congratulations. I can't wait till I get home and tell Rover.
Rover better have a license. I don't play favorites, you know.
Mr. LeBaron will see you now, Miss Martin.
Oh, thank you. Well, I've got to go in now, Jack, and sing one of the numbers from our picture for Mr. LeBaron. He hasn't heard it yet.
Oh. Well, say, I'll go in with you. I've got to see Mr. LeBaron anyway.
Just a moment, Mr. Benny. He wants you to wait until Miss Martin is through.
Well, now, wait a minute. She sings that song to me in the picture. There's no reason why I can't go in with her.
Oh, Jack, sit down.
I won't sit down.
This way, Miss Martin.
So long, Jack. See you later.
Goodbye. Goodbye, dear. Now, listen, Nelson. This whole thing is your fault. I bet you didn't even tell Mr. LeBaron I was waiting.
Oh, go chase a dog.
That's only in Beverly Hills. Well, that does it. I wait around all day and I can't see Sandra. And now it's LeBaron. Well, I'm going over to see Mr. Freeman, the head of the studio. That's why I'm going to see Mr. Freeman. Come on, Mary.
All right, all right.
Wait a minute, buddy. I'll go with you.
It's the most embarrassing thing I ever heard of. I'll tell Mr. Freeman about it.
Calm is the night, the wind is asleep, a drowsy old moon motes above. Suddenly comes a jolt, crash goes a thunderbolt, isn't that just like love? Straight is your path, and firm is your step, and then at the drop of a glove, where is south, which is north, bang, it's July the 4th. Isn't that just like love? Isn't it odd to walk off to a dream and say, don't I know you? Isn't it weird to hear miracles talk and say, well, how do you do? Clear is your mind and strong is your will. A mountain is tempered to stone. Then the ground falls apart, boom goes your apple cart. Isn't that just like love? Isn't it odd to walk off to a dream and say, don't I know you? Isn't it weird to hear miracles talk and say, well, how do you do? Clear is your mind and strong is your will. A mountain is tempered to stone. Then the ground falls apart, boom goes your apple cart. Isn't that
how long will I have to wait?
Just a few minutes. Sit down, kid.
Thanks. You know, Mary, I won't have any trouble getting in to see Mr. Freeman. He's a Southern gentleman.
Why don't you stick some mint in your ear and go in as a julep?
Oh, don't be funny.
Say, buddy, you want a little snort while we're waiting?
Oinus, put that bottle away. Here, give it to me. I'll throw it out the window.
Don't do that. You'll blow the joint up.
Oh, my goodness. What is that stuff, anyway?
Hello, Miss Brecker. Here's that film Mr. Freeman wanted.
Thank you.
Oh, Mary, there's the cameraman that photographs me in most of my pictures. Hello, Teddy. What's the matter with that guy? He always does that when he sees me. Say, Miss Brecker, I don't want to seem impatient, but I really got to get out of here. Would you please check with Mr. Freeman again?
Very well. Oh, Mr. Freeman, that northerner is still here.
Northerner? Boy, Waukegan is just over the line. What's the matter with her?
Yes, Mr. Freeman, I'll tell him.
Well?
Mr. Freeman said he'd be with you in a few minutes.
A few minutes. Don't you start pulling that stuff.
Well, don't you get tough with me. I'm big enough to throw you right out of here.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
All right. I wish you'd turn around. I'd like to run a home movie on your back. Well, that's all I can do now is sit here and wait.
Hey, Ines.
What?
What do you have to see Mr. Freeman about?
It's that love story I wrote. I want to try and sell it.
Oh.
Did you like it, Toots?
Yeah, it was swell. Jack, what are you doing with that electric razor?
I'm shaving. What do you think I'm doing?
Mr. Benny, there'll be no shaving in this building.
Oh, no? Well, my whiskers grew in this building, and I'm going to whack them off here. Now, let me alone.
Put that razor away or I'll throw you out.
Oh, all right. You think I was using up $1,000 worth of electricity?
Oh, hello, Colonel Beaumont.
Hello, honey child. I wonder if I could see Mr. Freeman.
You sure can. Go right in, Colonel.
Thank you, ma'am.
So that's the way. Say, honey child, I'm Papa asked to see Miss Freeman myself.
Shut up.
Well, the Colonel got in that way. I wish there was something Southern about me. I got to see Freeman.
Why don't you show your Confederate money?
I gave it all to Dennis the first year he worked for me. Now, look, Miss Brecker, I'm going to wait just 5 more...
Hello, Miss Brecker.
Go right in, Mr. Wells.
Mr. Wells, he sells Christmas cards.
Well, it's almost Christmas, isn't it?
You're darn right it is, and I don't want to hang up my stocking here. Now, this has gone just far enough.
What are you talking about?
I'll tell you what I'm talking about. I don't mind waiting in Mr. Sandwich's office for 3 hours, and I don't mind getting the runaround from Mr. LeBaron. But when a salesman can walk in here and see the head of the studio without any appointment...
Can I speak to you a minute, boss?
I'll see you later, Rochester. While I've been sitting here...
You know those 3 tickets I got?
While I've been sitting here...
Well, one more ain't gonna kill us, is it?
What?
See you later, boss.
Now, listen here, Miss Brecker. I'm a pretty big star, whether you know it or not. And I won't stand being kicked around. I had to eat my lunch here. I even had a shave here.
Your bath is ready, Jack.
Now, cut that out. Miss Brecker, I'll give you just 2 seconds to press that buzzer and call Mr. Freeman.
Here comes the bill again.
Who cares? Now, that's final, Miss Brecker. Do I get in there or not? Oh, my goodness, what's that for?
They play Dixie every time they pass Mr. Freeman's window.
Oh, nuts, I'm going home. Come on, Mary.
Okay.
I'll go with you, buddy.
Come on, Oinus, I'm going over to see Barney Dean.
Barney Dean, who's he?
Only the janitor, but he'll speak to me. Come on.
Around the football stadiums these crisp autumn afternoons...
Hey, Mary, you know what?
What?
I should have asked Mary Martin to take my side about the premiere being held in Waukegan.
Well, what good would that do?
What good would it do? Can't you see there'd be 2 of us for Waukegan, and Alan wouldn't stand a chance. Gee, I wonder where I can find her.
Well, she's on the Maxwell House program Thursday night. Why don't you go over there and speak to her?
Yeah, that's a good idea. I'll do that.
I'll go with you, buddy.
Thanks, Oinus. Good night, folks.
Ladies and gentlemen, today more than ever, America needs the Red Cross.
J-E-L-L-O.
The Jell-O program starring Jack Benny with Mary Livingston, Phil Harris, Dennis Day, and yours truly, Don Wilson. The orchestra opens the program with Meet the People. In the news... Meet the People, played by the orchestra. And now, ladies and gentlemen, as is customary every Sunday night...
Wait a minute, Don. Wait a minute. Hold everything. This introduction is on me. All right, boys, let's have it. and gentlemen, it gives me great pleasure to present the bridegroom of the Jell-O program, Don Wilson. Yes, sir, yes, sir. Well, there you are, Don. There's our little send-off for you. And we all wish you and the bride a lot of success and happiness.
Well, thank you, Jack. Thanks very much.
Why, Don, you're blushing.
I am Don.
You are, too. Look at him, folks. 300 pounds of love. Tell me, Don, where did you spend your honeymoon?
We went down to Coronado Beach for 3 days.
Oh, Coronado's an ideal place for a honeymoon. A beautiful hotel, gorgeous scenery, and a lovely swimming pool.
Yes, that terrible thing happened, Jack.
What?
We forgot to take our bathing suits.
Oh, that was a shame. A fine honeymoon with no swimming. But I'll tell you one thing, Don.
Hello, Don. Congratulations to the bridegroom.
Oh, thanks, Mary.
Isn't that wonderful, Mary? Just think. Little Cupid shot his arrow and hit our own Donzie.
Well, if Cupid couldn't hit Wilson, he ought to go out of business.
Mary, be sentimental, will you? Say, by the way, Don, did you get the wedding present I sent you? I hope you liked it.
Oh, it's beautiful, Jack. Thanks. I haven't seen any of those in a long time.
Well, it was no easy job getting it. I had to shop all over.
What did he give you, Don?
A lovely bowl of wax fruit.
Yes, sir. You know, Don, I was going to send you some silverware, but you know how it is. Everybody sends silverware.
Everybody but Benny. He sends wax fruit.
I knew what I was doing, Mary. You know, newlyweds always get more silver than they can use.
Well, not in our case, Jack. As a matter of fact, we didn't get any silver at all.
Oh, Don, I wish I had known that.
Yeah, you could have sent him a lock of your hair.
All right, Mary, how was I to know?
I never saw anybody like you, Jack. You always give the oldest, corniest presents.
Is that so?
Last year at my birthday, you sent me a bustle.
But it was full of chocolates. Don't forget that. Supposed to be a novelty. Spent $1.50 a pound for that bustle, and she's complaining. Anyway, Don.
Well, what good is candy after you sit on it?
You weren't supposed to sit on it. Anyway, Don.
Hard centers yet.
Now, Mary, forget it. Anyway, Don liked the wedding gift I sent him. He said it was lovely.
Sure was, Jack. But I meant to tell you something about that bowl of fruit.
Oh, is there something wrong with it?
Yes, one of the bananas doesn't light up.
It doesn't?
No.
Well, take it back, brother. Take it back. I bought it at Magnan's, and it's guaranteed.
Magnan's?
Yes, Sam Magnan's. He's got an antique shop in Pismo Beach. Oh, hello, Phil.
Hiya, Jackson. Well, hello, Don. Congratulations.
Oh, thanks, Phil.
So you went and done it, eh, Don, you lucky son of a gun?
Yes, sir, and I'm very happy.
Oh, I envy you, kid. That's the life, believe me.
What?
You know, Jackson, a guy gets pretty tired of running around night after night. No sleep, no home life. What does it get you?
Is he kidding?
No, on the level, fellas. I'd like to move away from the city and buy a little ranch out in the valley.
Well, why don't you?
That fresh air would kill me.
I believe you. Phil, you're a fine guy to talk about settling down. The hours you keep.
Well, I can't help it, Jackson. I work at the Wilshire Bowl every night until 1 o'clock, don't I?
Well?
By the time I get a cup of coffee, it's 4 a.m.
4 a.m.? Phil, why don't you try having a cup of coffee just once without taking the waitress home? Just one.
Well, you know me. I gotta have sugar with my coffee. Do you get it, Jackson?
No, Phil. I'm not as sharp as I used to be.
Well, don't you get it? The waitress is sweet, so
Go on, you corny Joe. Mary, can you imagine a guy pulling one like that and then trying to explain it?
You think that's bad? You should have heard the gag he pulled at the bowl the other night.
What was it?
Well, Phil was announcing a song, so he said, "And now, ladies and gentlemen, our next number is all about the manicurist who married the millionaire."
What was the title of it?
I'll Never File Again.
Holy mackerel! You know, Phil, if you'd keep your mouth shut at the Wilshire Bowl, they could put a cover charge on. Believe me. Oh, hello, Dennis.
Hello, Mr. Benny. Gee, what I know about Don Wilson.
What?
I saw him at the Coronado Hotel last week, and he wasn't alone.
That That was his wife.
Oh.
For your information, Dennis, he got married.
Congratulations, Mr. Wilson.
Well, thank you, Dennis.
You know, that marriage business might be all right for a guy like you, but none of that stuff for me.
Listen, young man, it wouldn't hurt you to meet some nice little home girl and settle down.
Nothing doing. I wouldn't give up Hetty Lamar for anything in the world.
Hetty Lamar? Why, she doesn't even know you're alive.
I can wait.
Well, Dennis, while you're waiting, how about singing your song right now?
Okay. I'm going to sing Two Dreams Met, and I dedicate it to Mr. and Mrs. Don Wilson and Hetty Lamar.
All right. Go ahead. Hold it. Come in.
Mr. Benny?
Yes?
I shot an arrow into the air and hit Don Wilson. You know where.
Well, who are you?
I am Cupid with no clothes on. And now I'll run. I'm nearly froze on.
Well, that's the most stupid Cupid I've seen in years. Sing, Dennis. Very good. That was Two Dreams Met, sung by Dennis Day, and very good. You know, Dennis, there have been a lot of dream songs lately.
Yeah, lately.
Two dreams met, Dream Valley. Now I lay me down to dream of you. That seems to be the vogue right now.
Yeah, the Vogue.
Dennis. And they're all good, too. That's the funny part of it.
Talking about dream songs, Jackson, I just wrote a Lulu. It's going to be published in a couple of weeks.
What's the name of your song, Phil?
Eskimo Dream Girl, Don't Blubber Over Me.
Oh, well, that's a beautiful thought. Don't blubber over me. What's it about? Is it a ballad?
Well, it's a sort of a torch song. It's about an American guy that goes up to Alaska and he meets this Eskimo girl.
Uh-huh.
But she can't speak Eskimo, so the
Eskimo? First place, it's but he can't speak Eskimo. What's that?
Well,
that's
her
a language. You don't speak it.
That's
all.
right.
Not even you can't read your own line, but you don't know what page it's on. Well, Phil, what's the outcome of this fascinating saga of the North?
Well, the guy drives away with his dog team, and the girl stands there waving her igloo at him.
Phil, an igloo is a house made of ice.
Oh, well, I better rewrite that part.
Yeah. Learn how to read, too. It'll be good.
Reading's not going to help this any.
Huh?
Say, Mary, how about you and me singing it some night? You can be my Eskimo girl.
I'd rather be the dog team.
You got something there.
Speaking of Alaska, ladies and gentlemen, let me tell you about Jell-O.
What?
Whether you live in Sitka, Juneau, or Ketchikan, why don't you run down to your neighborhood grocer and catch a box of tempting, delicious Jell-O?
Catch a box? Why not?
For Juneau and I know that it's twice as good as ever before.
I wonder how he's going to work Sitka in there.
So look for the big red letters on the box. I will now sit you down.
Well, I'll be darned he did it. Don, only the fact that you got married last week excuses that surrealist plug. And now, ladies and gentlemen, at this time, I would like to announce... Dennis, what do you got your hand up in the air for?
I want to ask a question.
Oh. Well, in the first place, this isn't a schoolroom. And in the second place, when you want to ask a question, you raise all fingers, not just one. Now, what's the question?
Well, my mother wants to know if we're going to be in Waukegan for the Christmas holidays.
No, Dennis, we're not going to Waukegan. As a matter of fact, fellas, the premiere of my picture is going to be held in New York City.
New York City?
Yes. Alan wanted it in Old Orchard, Maine, and I wanted it in Waukegan, so I figured New York would be a fair compromise.
What do you mean, a fair compromise?
I mean, just what I say.
What are you talking about? Old Orchard, Maine is much closer to New York than Waukegan is.
It is not.
It is, too.
Would you like to make a little bet on that? About $50?
You're darn right I would.
Well, go find a sucker. Don't bother me. I guess that'll hold you, brother.
Oh, boy, are you a welcher?
I'm not a welcher. But I don't believe in gambling when there are minors present.
Dennis is over 21.
I mean coal miners. There are 3 boys and Phil's band from Scranton. The trombone section with the candle in their derby. Now, let's forget it. And now, ladies and gentlemen...
Pardon me, Jack.
Yes, Don?
Would you mind terribly if I ran along? I promised the little woman that I'd get home early tonight.
No. Go right ahead, Don, but I was going to buy you a bottle of champagne across the street at the Tropics right after the show. You know, I think a celebration is in order.
Oh, say, I've got a great idea. Why don't you and the gang come over to the house? I want you all to meet my wife.
Tonight? Oh, Don, that would be an imposition. 5 of us barging in without any notice or anything.
Oh, it's no imposition at all. Peggy'd love to have you.
But, Don, don't you think you ought to call your wife up and let her know we're coming? You know, barging in like this with a whole gang of people.
No, Jack, the little woman won't mind. Really, she's a peach.
Well, all right. Come on, fellas, let's go. Wait a minute. Hello?
Hello, Mr. Benny. This is Rochester.
Rochester, I haven't got time to talk to you now. We're on our way to the valley.
Well, I heard you say you were going to New York for the premiere. Does that include your loyal, devoted, and I got my clothes packed already, butler?
Yes, but I don't know why I'm taking you. The last time we were in New York, I didn't see you for 2 weeks.
You didn't look in the right places.
I'm not supposed to look for you. You're working for me, remember?
Yes, sir.
Imagine passing already. I never saw anybody so anxious to leave.
Boss, I can't wait till I get to New York. You know, the last time we were there, I only got halfway through the Metropolitan Museum. And the view from the Statue of Liberty. Why, boss, I could just stand there for hours, lost in meditation. And you know that library on Fifth Avenue?
Yes.
Well, that offers endless cultural opportunities of which one must imbibe freely.
I see. Then, from what I understand, Rochester, you're only interested in the cultural side of New York.
Up to dust, then strap me down.
I thought so. I know you look like a book. Now, listen, Rochester. I have to prepare for the trip east, so I want you to send my heavy overcoat to the cleaners.
Oh, yes, the one with the green velvet collar.
That's black velvet.
Have you seen it lately?
Never mind. Just send it to the cleaners.
Okay. Oh, say, boss.
What?
I think you ought to give up that job as dog catcher of Beverly Hills.
Why?
You know those 2 Great Danes you captured yesterday?
Yes?
Well, Mr. Darrell Zanuck was just here and says one of them is his polo pony.
Which one?
The one that whinnies.
Well, all right, give it to him. Goodbye.
Goodbye. Say, boss, I don't think the other one's a Great Dane either.
It is true.
Okay, I'll take the saddle off. So long.
That's the last time I'll go out chasing dogs without my glasses. Well, come on, fellas, let's go.
I got the cab waiting, Jack.
That's swell, but I still think you ought to call up your wife.
Oh, Don knows what he's doing.
All right, let's go then. Don, I'm still worried. Are you sure your wife won't mind?
No, she'll be delighted to have you.
Am I heavy on your lap, Miss Livingston?
Yeah. Phil, why don't you hold Dennis for a while?
I just had my pants pressed. Put them on the floor.
Phil.
Well, here we are. Driver, pull up at that little white cottage there.
Okay.
Well, this is it, fellas. How much is that, driver?
$2.35.
Here you are.
Wait a minute, Don. Wait a minute. This is on me.
Oh, no, I want to pay it.
Gee, you got a cute house there, Don. Yes, sir.
Nothing doing, Dennis. I want to pay the fare.
Oh, Mr. Harris, let me pay it.
Next time, Dennis. This is my tree.
No, I insist on paying.
Got rose bushes around the door and everything. Oh, it's beautiful, you know.
Oh, Jack, pay for the cab and let's go in.
Pay for it? I'm not even in the argument. Oh, all right. How much you say that was, driver?
$2.35.
Here's $2.50. Keep the change.
Oh, goody. Now my wife can have another baby.
Wise guy. Well, let's go in, Don.
You know, Jack, I was just thinking that maybe I should have called up my wife first.
What?
Well, with 5 people barging in unexpectedly, it might kind of upset her.
That's what I told you at the studio. I told you to call up your wife.
come on, Don. Don't be afraid. Let's go in.
Oh, it's not that I'm afraid, Phil.
I can understand Don's side of it, all of us barging in like this.
Barging, smarging. I said that at the studio. I said, let's call the little woman up. Call her up, I said.
Quiet, will you? I'll tell you what, fellas. You all hide in the rose bushes, and I'll go in and tell Peggy that some of the gang might drop in unexpectedly. That'll kind of soften the blow.
What blow? I told you at the studio.
Oh, come on, Jackson. Let's do it his way.
All right. Come on, we'll hide in the rose bushes. Ouch, these thorns. Make it snappy, Don. Silliest thing I've ever heard of.
Oh, be quiet and get off my foot.
Oh, hello, sweetheart.
Oh, darling, you're home early.
I told you I would be. Gee, I'm hungry, dear. You got something good for supper?
Well, I'm sorry, darling. I didn't have a chance to do any shopping, so I'll just open a can of tuna fish.
Oh, that's swell, dearest.
Then 2.5 already. I'm going to get tuna fish.
What are you worrying about? You're not even in yet.
Thing that burns me up, I'm the guy that told him to call her up.
Hey, Jackson, have you got a cigarette?
What?
I say, have you got a cigarette?
No, here's a cigar.
Thanks. Oh, boy, Corona.
Don't let the label fool you.
Very funny. I wonder if Don's going to be... Hey, Dennis, stop eating those roses.
Well, I'm hungry.
So am I, but I'm going to wait. How are they?
They need salt.
Oh, stop. Hey, quiet, fellas. The porch light just went on.
Hey, fellas, are you still there?
Yeah.
Well, I just told Peggy that I saw Phil and Mary pulling up in the car, so you two better come on in first.
What about me?
You weren't in the car.
Well, for Pete's sake, I could be. You made the whole thing up. Let's all go in.
No, you can't do that. Mary and Phil come first.
Okay.
See you later, Jack.
The darndest mess I ever got into.
Yeah.
I told him at the studio, 5... Call her up, Don. Call up your wife. That's all. Call up the little woman. But no. He has to be a wise guy. And on top of that, it looks like it's going to rain.
It'll be wonderful for the roses.
Not for the roses. If I get pneumonia once more, I'm a goner.
Yeah.
Roses. Wouldn't mind waiting out here, but the worst of it is I got to talk to you.
What do we talk about?
Nothing. Just be quiet and eat your roses. Getting chilly, too. Here comes Don again.
Hey, Dennis, come on in.
Dennis?
Yeah, I told my wife I just saw him riding up on his bicycle.
Well, as long as you're dreaming things up, why didn't you see me on the handlebar? Use your bean.
Don't worry, Jack. You're next. Well, look who's here, darling. Dennis Day.
Look who's here, darling. Dennis Day. I ought to have my headache. I can't get over it. If I told him once in the street, I told him 5 times. Call your wife. Let's not barge in on the little woman. Oh, fine. It's going to rain, all right. Can't get over that. I begged. I pleaded. Don, I said, call her. Don't barge in on the little woman. Call her up. Let her know we're coming. Never saw anything. I knew it. Well, here it comes. I'm going to get soaked. Oh, the heck with Wilson. I'm going to walk right in that house, ready or not. If he thinks I'm going to say...
Pick him up, buddy.
Huh?
You heard me. Pick him up.
Pick him up? Are you a burglar?
I ain't Santa Claus.
Now, look, mister.
Come on. Where do you carry it to?
In my right shoe. But look, mister, I was invited to a party in this house. I'm not even supposed to be out
Get
here.
that shoe off.
It's raining. I'll get my foot wet. Now, please.
Hey, Jack! Oh, Jack!
Keep your mouth shut or I'll kill you.
But he's calling me. Can't you hear?
Jack, where are you?
Not a peep out of you, buddy.
There's nobody out there, darling. You must have been mistaken.
Oh, I guess I was, dear.
Oh, my goodness.
All right, buddy, off with that shoe.
Now, listen, mister. If I take the shoe off, I'll never get it back on again. I haven't got my button hook with me. Now, please, go away.
Come on, give me your dough.
But listen, buddy, this isn't fair. I wouldn't have been here at all if Don Wilson had taken my advice.
What are you talking about?
I'm not kidding you, buddy. If I told him once, I told him 1,000 times. Call up your wife, Don. 5 people barging in on the little woman. It's an imposition. But would he listen to me? No. He had to be a wise guy, a smart ass. He wouldn't listen.
Friends, one of the easiest ways to do away with mealtime monotony is to serve a wide variety of desserts. But finding new and different treats for the family is no small task. And so that's why every Sunday we try to bring you some new dessert suggestions. This week's specialty is a swell, eye-filling, taste-teasing dessert that looks like $1 million, and yet as simple to make as can be. Just make up 1 package of strawberry Jell-O and give Jell-O its new, distinctive goodness. Enjoy it tomorrow by serving this gay, creamy combination.
Darn it. I got all my dough. I can't get my shoe back on. Oh, well.
Pardon me, does Don Wilson live in this house?
He's married, Cupid. You got him one.
Why don't I write things down?
Good night, folks.
Thank you for listening to and showing your support for my podcast. If you would like to receive notifications of when new episodes are posted, please subscribe to my channel. Well, hope you enjoyed, and until next time, stay safe, wish you well, and as always, peace.